Mustafa Bande Enkasa Oye NDC Deputy General Secretary me no enin komo Mustafa akwabe kosi sen so ni
mejo so me
apomu ye de
radia ya dom.
Of course, I mean, Cecilia, because of additional role as a deputy director, operations at the presidency, you are privy to some national security stuff. Any day. I mean, going through a Boahene letter, and the fact that a government in power through the national security team provided support for an opposition party, because much the reasons for that is for national cohesion, for peace, for political objectivity. A bass a surprise to one.
My commentary on this matter would be purely political, and to the extent that, as I said, reflected the objectivity of the issues. Number one is a calculated, deliberate ploy attaching counsel with the suspect to blackmail persons or systems that will ensure that suspected crime committing will lose the attention that the nation is giving it. But it will work. The most important thing is that if you have misappropriated public funds and the various financial acts governing public sector stipulate how institutions should use their funds, and you don't follow that law, and that when you are arrested, the best counsel a lawyer should give you, they say, sit in jail, blackmail everybody, because you have spent the money with certain individuals, and that it will dilute the concentration of the matter. It won't wash. Okonfo. Okoyuya will be banchia. Me a chiwa will say banchino me bu fama oma. Intiminya konfo. How does that work?
Yeah, but in a statement, there is nowhere admission. He was say oni obi ne di sikano. He is saying say sikana mose ayerano. Nioma national security ediye ye nie 1 2 3 4 onka se me DB ena me ma asume se ana obentin so bi. That is
when you call as a student of security, you call national security architecture. Won't discuss the details, but our various institutions and our functions are more. Signal Bureau saying it has its core mandate, its budget. The mainstream national security has its core focus and how it champions national security strategies and security enhancement and coordination. None of it says to say, go and dip your hands into an account. Hey, sit into an account. Use it to buy estates. And that when you are caught, then you say that you have used it for national security operation. How does that work? How does that work? It's blackmailing. Complete attachment logic to dilute the matter. So obi na beka me hwate mo a ma kwa ko bokro no ntino na wo obi ya madam for mama 1,000 cedis a because say obera beka me hwante mo ekosi senti ma ko transfers na ma cho say o obi kwa na no me ma 1,000 bi set kano e ka ho bi. What kind of logic is that?
Yeah,
is that how the MPP intend to defend their criminality in government? It is strange. Is it the first time our governments have been supporting opposition parties.
Yeah, but if it is not the first time, why are you saying say wait the black?
Nobody have gone to steal money from an account to support opposition parties. Yeah,
but as we speak, nothing has been established to be a USK.
Which opposition party did they give the money to?
Yeah, into a say elections, special operations, support for opposition party, into bracket communications equipment for election result collation, 8.3 million Ghana cedis, in dollar terms, 500,000 US dollars.
Election coalition becomes the core mandate of Signal Bureau?
No, or say equipment a parties then they be election coalition, but the opposition party. That is what is written.
Opposition party buying.
It is not in this letter.
Exactly. So I'm just saying that NDC didn't take money from Boahene to collect our results. I may be misinformed, but as far as I'm concerned, national security didn't fund NDC's collation of results.
Yeah, but maybe
I do know, sir. The MPP put together a rigging scheme, including IT infrastructure to rig the 2024 election, and it failed.
Mustafa Gbande asked,
should nation's money be used for it?
Mustafa Nyabotre, as Deputy General Secretary, who was not directly involved in election coalition, you may not be privy to all the information because say the national security, the party NDC as a body corporate, they might not deal with you, Mustafa Gbande.
Oh, sir, MPP, national security is kind of a quality election. Is that what you are making me believe? I will be shocked. At where I sit, I was keenly involved in elections. Unless I don't have a briefing, but I'm saying that collation of results by NDC have nothing to do with funding from national security. And I'm saying that even if national security intends to fund opposition parties and political interests, you don't misappropriate funds, which you know breaks a law in terms of managing public funds in the name of helping political parties, because you wouldn't have told the political parties that you have stolen the money. So clearly, it's a ploy by Atta to blackmail the systems. And it won't wash. You won't go to court and tell a judge that I've stolen money. Yes, I'm a thief, but I've used the money to take care of journalists. So therefore, leave me to go home.
Asempa FM.
Yeah, this is the logic of the MPP.
Yeah, but unim say even to arrive at stealing, Mustafa, the elements of stealing are clear. I mean, the mere fact say Sika Kodio Bihwa, it cannot in and of itself no ground the offense of stealing.
Well, stealing, I'm not a lawyer, but stealing is a concurrent term that works with misappropriation. If you're a public officer, and you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but it goes a bit beyond that.
And I'm saying that Boahene should have come to tell the Ghanaian people, if he decides to discuss publicly his matters under which he has been investigated and arrested, he should tell them that yes, I didn't steal any money. But when you say that the money you are accusing me to have taken, I have used it, I have spent it on minor political parties. And then Atta goes on radio to say that, oh, prosecuting this hardened criminal, a James Bond of our time,
FM,
will have national security implications.
Mustafa, I don't think it's fair, or I should allow you to categorize an accused person as a hardened criminal.
I can withdraw.
Court has pronounced that very well.
I can withdraw that.
Very well, very well.
But I'm saying that under the circumstances, what Atta is doing is blackmailing, okay? Is to find a way of diluting the case. It won't stand in logic, sir.
Sempa FM.
Boahene is not saying it's a Abantikaro. Did he say that in the letter?
Yeah, in the letter, no.
But he said that he took the discretionary decision to appropriate some of the money to political parties and individuals? Did any law establish that Signal Bureau should fund private political parties or political parties, so to speak, in coalition of resource? I will be shocked. That would take taxpayers' money, and we've been discussing funding of political parties, and that an individual can have a contract with Ghana Water Company for ICT,
Asempa FM.
and when the money is paid, you go and spend that money on coalition of resource, and that this country should sit and laugh at it.
But Mustafa, with your experience and knowledge in security matters, you do know, and so say national security does so many things.
I agree.
At the blind side. What's in your money be? You go like, why would national security do this? But it is for a particular purpose. Some of these things should not come as a surprise to you, no?
No, if it was the national security coordinator, it's a different matter. Look, national security has a way it spends. That is why national security budget is not discussed in public.
Yes.
But national security will not go and take a private contract with Ghana Water Company, register a company that is familiar to the name of national security, and transfer funds in the name of operations. Oh, meaning security, no. What security principle is that? Speak to other senior security people. If it was, say, the national security minister or the national security coordinator, and yet someone, I would be a bit restrained in my conversation on the comment on this. I think why he was not in charge of national security. He was in charge of Signal Bureau, which is a wing which has its sources of funding. If you have these sources of funding and you appropriate them to your private companies in the name of operations, how about that? That is not the procedure of national security spending.
Okay, let's see how that would pan out. But I also the letter is addressed to the current national security coordinator, and you would find in the letter say he tries to argue say some of the issues should be issues that the current national security coordinator would know about. And your for example say, I am also disturbed to note that the services of bloggers and social media influencers have been employed to post and run commentary on these lies to amplify the matter and bring prominence to this malicious agenda against not just our persons but the national security as well. As this ridiculous drama unfolds, some 49 million Ghana's days of special operations funds have now become the subject of court action, where my wife and I, as well as other affiliates, are being accused with charges including stealing and causing financial loss to the state. I've tried to withhold classified information from my interrogators, but I deem it prudent to inform your good office that in light of the current development, we run the risk of public disclosure of the following national security and intelligence operations expenditure items. You'd realize he's speaking from the point these are expenditures are known to the system.
Okay, so Obi.
Yes.
So Boahene himself knows that national security has deployed and paid bloggers to amplify his suspected or alleged criminality and criminal conduct.
The bloggers said the national security. He is referring
to who are those
his accusers. His accusers.
Who are the accusers? We are the people of Ghana, and we are saying that Boahene, you are a subject matter of investigation. Yes, what you the self, the remand. You have even tampered with evidence of anti-Kwaku Annan. Letter. National security matters are now discussed in public. Is that how Boahene was trained? That even if you want to invite the current National Security Minister, on grounds of national security, to get into the matter and sort it out, given state interest. You write a letter and leak same to the public. Then your lawyer go and stand on a media platform to say that prosecuting his client will have national security implications.
But we don't know who leaked the letter. To blame him for that is all.
Oh, now, did his lawyer comment about the matter or not?
Yeah, because it was already leaked in the.
It doesn't have national security implications. The only national security implication in this matter is to blackmail the system. Finish.
Yeah, but he also argues that the allegations, he's already been tried in the media, crucified by the Attorney General. He's made that point already.
It's legitimate. Ghanaians are very appalled by the rate at which politicians and persons in the public sector undermine, disrespect, disregard how we spend taxpayers' money. And that is why the people of Ghana are discussing him. He claimed that he's a smart businessman. Smart people register companies that bears names synonymous to institutions that they lead and transfer money to private accounts of their private institutions. And that is supposed to be how national security functions.
Yeah, but maybe you may also want to, find out a bit more about the operations of national security. Don't you think so? Because there's somebody who has been with the national security since 2007. I mean, he's seen 3 or 4 presidents. He's worked under them. He was deputy director of the Signals Bureau under Mahama. He became the boss under Akufo Addo. He might know things you and I don't know.
We are becoming too long. The National Security Minister under dapaah should somewhat be answering for national security debriefing and operations. Number 2, the National Security Coordinator should somewhat be answering for national security operations. Boahene cannot assume that role because he is a suspect on his own conduct. And that because he has become the National Security Minister, he has become the National Security Coordinator. We should tell these kind of things to the Marines, and get serious with the issues. We are talking about millions of CVs here.
Yes.
Okay? And if that is how we misuse public funds in this country, then we should not blame God for poverty. We should not.
I agree with you.
And I'm very disappointed in Atta that how we regard him as one of the best lawyers in this country, he will not be honest enough to admit that his client has misappropriated public funds.
Mustafa,
but yet he wants to hide around national security implications.
Mustafa, there is a reason why he is a defense lawyer. For us as lawyers, your number 1 priority is to do everything possible to get your client justice. And if he is on the...
Including blackmailing the system?
That is what you term as blackmail. I know you what okay, he has not...
All Adu Boahene and Atta is seeking to do is to blackmail individuals, blackmail the system. And I'm saying that his client lacks what it takes to assume responsibility of a national security coordinator and a national security minister. For the purposes of President Akufo Addo's regime, there was a minister in charge of national security.
Okay.
For God's sake.
Okay.
If it was Honorable dapaah who is saying these things, we will somehow interrogate the issues. If it was Asomani who was saying these things, we will somehow discuss it. But for a Signal Bureau director...
My final question would be, sir, according to your reporter, Elton John Brobe, he is picking information from senior government quarters. there are already behind the scenes conversations between the leadership of national security in the past government and the current leadership to see how best they can meet or even meet with the president to have a conversation around this whole issue, because
and that will amount to mitigation of sitting in a conference room to discuss a crime.
Not the crime bit, the where the issues are going to, no, we might have this unintended consequence of putting out very
collation of election results is not terrorism attack. Collation of election results is not any serious threat. It's not even a threat to the country.
And you don't think that such a meeting should come on?
No, I'm not saying so. I'm not a president, but I'm saying that if you misappropriate public funds to support what you call infrastructure for collation of resource, it is not a national security matter. It's a political election interest matter. Who sanctioned for public funds to be used for collation of resource? Signal Bureau is now not a electoral commission.
Now, Mustafa, on the collation of results bit, no, so we share reasons for expenditure now, justification and comment, or say a stability of the nation, national cohesion, political impartiality. Those are national security stuff.
And I'm saying that from where I sat in the 2024 election, the MPP has had an established rigging system intending to rig the results which failed. Okay. Is that a national security matter?
A memorandum from former National Signals Bureau Director General Kwabena Agyapong has revealed staggering expenditures on the national security and intelligence operations. This, he says, included some 8.3 million Ghana cedis for communications equipment for an opposition party and nearly 1 million Ghana cedis in payments to members of parliament for passing key laws. Now, ranking member on Parliament's Defense and Interior Committee, Reverend John Fojo, is asking for a probe into this, and he joins us on our desk. Let's speak to him. We'll also have on the line lawyer Martin Pebu with us, and he's also going to share his views on this particular happening. I have Martin with me right now. Martin, what do you make of these revelations made by Mr. Boahene, and what do you think will change in the investigation or the case that's before court?
Okay, so I state that the revelations are an eye-opener, okay, and enlightening, because we've been enlightened, you know. In the previous administration, we always felt there was some misuse of our funds, okay, for lack of a better word, but we had no evidence. And so with this particular kind of revelation, we are getting closer. We are not quite there yet, but we are a bit closer to, you know, finding exactly how the state uses and misuses our resources. Okay, so I call this revelation God sent, because it's making us wiser as a people. I mean, all the things we've been saying that, hey, politicians don't use our money well. Politicians don't use our money well. The public purse is not being guarded well, all right? The public purse itself is being stolen. It's something that this revelation has come to reinforce. So we should be happy for it. I mean, comparatively, you remember in the US when Bradley Manning, now Chelsea Manning, when they did the WikiLeaks, okay, and other countries all over the world, right? A lot of countries. You see the revelations of national security secrets, etc. It brought similar results where it opened the eyes of the American people to how government was misusing their money, etc. So this should be maybe our mini WikiLeaks. So we should be happy.
But Martin, do you think this in any way is going to change the dynamics of the case in court? I mean, these revelations being made by the NSB, former NSB boss.
It's early days yet, okay? Early days yet, because, you know, Dr. Ayine is making a different case in court. He says that he's sent the transfers from the NSB account to Eduwahin's private NSB account, and then from that place to Mayfair Properties. Let's be very clear. From the Eduwahin private account to the Mayfair Properties, etc. So the case Ayine is making, I see, is quite different from what Eduwahin is answering here. Nonetheless, as I said, as a nation, we should be very grateful to Eduwahin for their revelations, because now we can push harder. You know, we've always said that, look, let's not throw our destinies into the hands of politicians. No, they are not angels. Politicians alone can't build this nation. They are our classmates, our brothers, our sisters, our sons and daughters. So we always need to remember that and keep them in check, right? So I don't, for now, based on the case Dr. Ayine is building, I don't see Eduwahin's answers answering that, because to be very specific, to repeat, Ayine has been clear that, look, you see paper trail, money for the NSB goes into Eduwahin's private NSB account. I know Bright Simmons is raising a question that Registrar General has to answer, or if it's like Registrar of Companies, how they could create that private company for Eduwahin and his wife. That looks very much like the official NSB account, right? So from that private NSB account, he says money goes to Mayfair Properties and all the other things that Dr. Ayine is mentioned. So it's incredible. I mean, I don't, and we all know Dr. Ayine. Ayine is quite a serious man. So for now, I would say that these revelations are not an answer to Ayene's probe or Ayene's case.
Right. So, Martin, the man is making allegations that some over 8 million cedis went to the opposition at the time, now in government. The president has also declared, I mean, forcefully, that he's not going to countenance corruption in his government, or, you know, where there's even going to be an oral committee who is, you know, looking into some of these things, and later the AG himself prosecuting some of these cases if found, you know, culpable. So in this case, do you think that there's the scope of investigation, as is being called by Reverend Timfojo, should be expanded to these elements that he's raised at this point in time?
Sure. Why not? You see, you're talking about, in theory, as I've mentioned, state secrets that we will get to probe and to learn how our money is being used in secret. It will be good for us. So if Timfojo can push more, just making a call on a news bulletin like this doesn't appear as one that will be forceful enough to get the president to do that kind of probe. So Timfojo should be thinking of ratcheting up the call. Yeah, he has to ratchet up the call. It doesn't appear that this is sufficient.
But does he even have to ratchet up the call? I mean, this is a case that the AG is already probing and taking it to court. Can the AG do more than that? I mean, this is in the, you know, in his backyard anyway.
Let me see. I think I need, but let's go back a bit. Let me get it. So Timfojo is saying that, to be clear, because I haven't read his story, what he's saying is that he's asking that the revelations made by Eduwahin should also be investigated by the Attorney General. That's a call.
To be investigated, it doesn't specifically name Attorney General.
Okay. All right, let's go back a bit and see so that I don't answer a question that I haven't reflected on well. I thought he was asking for a commission of inquiry. So that's the way I understood it. But now let's come back a bit. Let's take some of the items. That will make a better, it will help us understand. So let's say, everybody says money was paid to opposition parties to do, what do you call it?
Even MPs to pass certain security laws.
Okay, so maybe, yes. So all of that, I think a lot of them sound in corruption. Yes, if you say you're paying MPs money to pass a law, it sounds more in corruption. And so that would look like OSP. If you pay money to opposition parties to help them monitor elections, etc., what were you doing? Paying them off? Is it using public office for private gain? So you should come with more details. You see it? Yes, then it will be clearer. It will be clearer so that I'll know who should go. Because as I said, I understood it as a commission of inquiry. That one is general, all round. So that one, yes. But now, if you say go to Ayene, it's not too clear to me that all of that can go to Dr. Ayene, the Attorney General. Some of them, from what I'm saying, the ones that it says pay to MPs, etc., that's sounding in corruption because MPs are paid to pass laws. And you know that particular thing, look, it's not the first time. That particular thing, paying 900 and something thousand to the MPs to pass the Securities and Intelligence Agencies Act. New one. It's not new. Look, lots of government agencies, they always pay. It's become standardized. They always pay. And we've had an interview, a debate with Joe Wise, with Samson Ladia, where Joe Wise said, yes, they receive those monies.
Right.
They think it's facilitation of their work. So you say, so that one deserves a probe. So that we'll go into it. This is not, Edubani is not the first to reveal that MPs are paid money to pass laws. They've standardized it. Look, I can tell you that about 10 years ago, a friend of mine, a lawyer, when he went to the Committee of Parliament, this is what they said. They said, hey, yeah, man, we hope you've brought weights to put on your papers. Otherwise, the wind will blow your papers away. You know what the weight is? It's money. You're coming to the Committee of Parliament, you haven't brought money, then they can't see your work. It's been there. Look, from the late 90s, we started hearing MPs are paid money to pass budgets, etc. from 98 onwards.
Right.
Okay, so that one deserves a commission of inquiry first, so that we see the length of the tool.
All right. Thank you so much, Martin.
Thanks for watching. Like and share the video. You can also drop your comment. Please don't forget to subscribe. Click on the bell to turn on the notification.